it hot in here, or is it just me tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety? Not your average book club, if you know what I mean. Are you happy to see us? Or is that a dagger? It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter. It's Feast, Sheath, Shatter.
Hi, I'm Kate,
And I'm Rachel.
And I'm Hannah.
and today we're going to talk about some personal stuff, and then we're going to talk about about the fourth book in the Game of Thrones. Nope,
Not that.
Throne of Glass series by Sarah Janet Maas.
That's it.
Jeez. Technically, the fifth book,
Yeah.
if you count Assassin's Blade.
Yeah.
So, here we are. But I'm going to share the story first.
Go.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, so I was in Nashville this weekend. A good friend of mine. Let me just start by saying, last February, my girlfriends from college and I went to Asheville, and we found this great Airbnb. We stayed up on the hill. It was really fun. It was like a log cabin with a hot tub. Good time.
Mm-hmm.
The last morning I was there, I woke up kind of grumpy. Just the energy was weird. Anyways, so when I was going to Asheville to help my friend find a new house, she was like, I love this house. Come look at it. We pull up into this house. I'm like, wow, this is really crazy because that house on top of the hill behind you is the Airbnb I stayed at last year. So she ends up buying this house. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. So she's having a birthday party, housewarming, and she gets this Airbnb for us. So then my other friend has this stuff called Delta 9, which is like a synthetic THC that is like a molecule off, so you can sell it retail-wise. So I'm like, I don't typically do anything, but I'm like, sometimes it's nice to have just a little chill. So I took a recommended serving, and everything was fine. And I noticed that I just started feeling bad, and then we all went to bed. And I noticed something was really wrong when they turned the lights off, and I thought I was blind. And then, as I was laying in bed, and I started traversing the multiverse, then when I looked up at the ceiling, it went from color to like horror movie black and gray. While my heart is speeding up, basically I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
I thought I was dying. So I laid in bed for like 15 minutes trying to like wiggle around to hope that my friend Allison would hear me and like ask me if I needed help. And then eventually I was just like, I had to go downstairs and be like, Allie, I need help. I think I am dying. I think I'm having a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
So then there's like two different realms of reality. There's what's happening with Amber and my friend, or my two friends. And I think that they're trying to figure out how to make me not have a heart attack while I'm having a heart attack. So basically for about an hour, I kept saying over and over again, am I having a panic attack? Am I having a heart attack? Am I having a panic attack, or am I having a heart attack? And
I don't want to laugh because I've been there, and that's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
But the thing is that my friend that was there that has, does things a lot, had a similar evil experience. Like, it wasn't just too much. She saw blood dripping from the corners of the room.
What did
So
y'all take?
It was just supposed to be this, like, Delta 9 stuff. So
Yeah.
I think, personally, that because of our extra intuitiveness, that there's some kind of bad energy in that house, and it, like, took advantage of our, like, different level of our different frequency. Because I genuinely, and I know that same friend sent me a thing today that was a 911 call of somebody also thinking they were dying.
Yeah.
They ate too many brownies, and so they also thought they were dying. So, I mean, I get that that's a thing, but it was my particular experience, and the way it was really like I was scared because I thought I was gonna watch my friends watch me pass And I was like, this is how I'm going. I'm going.
Like an out-of-body experience.
And like,
almost.
yeah. And I kept saying, guys, I kept going, I'm really scared, but it's really okay. I'm so glad you're here. But I'm really scared. So it was like I was really scared, but then I was like, then I would come to peace and be like, I'm going to go this way. I'm really sorry. And I was just thinking about how it was going to traumatize them for the rest of their life to watch me leave on this couch on this hill in Airbnb. And now that I think about it, that house kind of looks like the Amity Harville house in my head. But it was the worst.
So did nobody have any Xanax on them or?
No. And I know this about myself, that anytime I ever use THC, I have to double dose on CBD because I am prone to anxiety. So, but I didn't have any CBD.
Ooh.
I didn't have anything to counter. And I thought it was a small little dose.
How much did you take?
Too much.
Too much.
Too much.
Entirely too much.
2.5 much.
2.5 entirely too much. Yeah. And it was just like, I'm 40. How is this happening to me? So never again. And the worst part is when you come back to, and you could find, like, they were like helping me ground by saying, like, counting things. And I was like, as I was counting things, I was like, oh, this really works. Like all these techniques you're supposed to have when you're having a panic attack. I'm like, oh, wow, this really works. Like it's just supposed to kind of work.
Yeah, like see 5 things.
No, like name five things you can see. And it literally would ground me. Or them, I kept making them, please don't take your, I said, don't take your hands off my pulse. Is my pulse okay? They had 2 Apple Watches on me.
We're gonna monitor.
That was my friend's immediate response. Put the Apple Watch on her and see how hard her pulse is. And meanwhile, my other friend, who's a mutual friend of ours, she's like having a similar experience, but not as exacerbated as mine. And she's like seeing blood drip out of the ceiling. She said she was laying in bed doing the same thing as me, trying to come out of a nightmare. And I've never experienced a nightmare in this state. It's supposed to feel nice. And it felt like I was in Hereditary. Like some crazy, scary movie. But the worst part was when I woke up, I still had all the memories and all the feelings. I could still remember what it felt like. So honestly, it felt like I got a new lease on life.
Well,
because I had spent an hour the evening before thinking I was dying. Literally, not just dramatically. I thought I was leaving and my friends were going to have to watch, and I was horrified for them. So yeah, now we're talking about a book.
I really hate that you had that experience.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It makes a good story. I knew it would make a good story after the fact.
Scary at the time.
So
Yeah.
scary.
So scary.
And just out of nowhere, and like that moment where I'm going through this thing and I'm like, I have to ask for help. But the moment I ask for help, that's going to escalate it.
Be real. Yep.
Because my friends are going to be like, holy shit, Kate's asking for help over. And I kept thinking, this is how messed up it is. I got really mean to myself really fast because I thought, well, this is what happens for living in my bigger body. Like I hadn't been drinking any water. I haven't been really working out. I have been eating not great food, too much salt. So my first thought is I'm dying and having a heart attack. And I was just like, when I came out of it, I was like, yeah, that's not, no one dies from weed. I was like Googling, can you die from weed?
You will not.
You
die
can't.
From weed.
And I was like, what's the symptoms of a heart attack? But then I was so out of it that I couldn't even tell if anything hurt. I was like, does my arm hurt? I don't know.
Someone tell me.
Is my arm hurt? My chest
awful.
hurts. My chest is beating so fast. Am I having a heart attack or am I having a panic attack? That's what I just said for an hour straight. And my friend felt so bad. She's like, I overdosed Kate.
Yeah.
At 40, it's fine.
Yeah. We have Delta 8 or Delta 9.
Yeah.
It's legal. You can buy it. So when I first got it, like Matt ate a whole gummy and I didn't realize it. And so we were getting ready to do something in the evening. So I pulled out another gummy and I gave it to him. And he just ate it because he was
Yeah.
already on the other one. And then we were supposed to be playing D&D with some friends, and he couldn't keep track of what had just happened. So he was just sitting there like this. And he was like, I don't know what to do. It's like-
Yeah.
But it wasn't negative, which makes me think it was probably something exteriorly negative.
Yeah.
Because it was not. It was just like,
Right.
We
Which
should
is
do some studies on that house or that area.
I thought
Wow,
so.
they're relaxing.
I asked my friend to ask. I said, "Can you ask the lady
Let's research it.
if
Yeah.
if someone had died in the house?"
is
And
it
she's
over
like,
a lot of limestone?
"She's like, absolutely not." And I was like, "What? Why not?" And I was like, "Angela, you." And this is the reason why. This is what it boiled down to. And I just had to be like, Angela, I want you to ask a curious question, not a presumptuous question.
Yeah.
Because her questions and her straightforwardness looks like someone died in that house, didn't they? I'm going to let everyone know. You know, like her idea of a question isn't,
0 stars.
and I was like,
Yeah.
no, it just needs to look like, hey, my
Had a
friend.
bad trip in this house.
Or
0
not-
stars.
my
It's like, I just had a
Yeah.
feeling.
Like,
Like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? No,
do you
you
have any like ghost stories? Or
No.
anything? You know, like
or my friend was there. She felt a presence and is really woo woo. Has anything ever happened in that house?
Oh, yeah.
She's just asking.
Mhm.
Like that has
you
not.
could definitely
I'm like, how? Why is your first? And I'm like, oh, this is why I'm good at
send
what
me
I
the
do.
address later. I'm gonna
Yeah.
research it.
Oh, this is why I'm good at what I do
You're a
because
people person.
and I ask
Yeah.
curious questions, not presumptuous questions. Yeah, it's like, just send me your number. I'll ask. She's like, we don't even know. She's trying to use that hot tub and. Like there's bad energy in that house.
Scary.
I'm glad to be back, and
Glad you're back.
I've been eating healthy.
Glad you're here.
Me too. I've been making good decisions
That's good.
because I just had that really, really bad moment. So, but now we're here to talk about Queen of Shadows.
Queen of Shadows.
which
I feel like
is,
we need to write that down somewhere because I keep thinking Crown of Midnight.
Which
And
is
I'm like,
okay. Why?
No, because they're like the same thing.
right, except for Crown of Midnight didn't
It
make
makes
any sense,
Yeah.
and Queen of Shadows does make sense. So, but we are picking up right in this book right after. So in our previous book, which was Air of Fire,
Yes.
the last thing we get is Aelin has come to terms with being Aelin. And the first thing we realize in this first book is that it's not from Selena Sardathian's point of view anymore. It's from Aelin Galathinius' point of view.
Yes.
She's accepted her place as queen. She is headed back to Rifthold to find actually the word key.
Yeah. To
And-
get the
yeah.
amulet of Orinth.
Yeah.
Armyless.
Yes, armyless.
Armyless, yes. So thoughts, just like first take, how'd you feel about this book?
This one was difficult again.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay.
For
How-
like the first 3/4.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I had to figure out how many pages were in the book and then give myself a quota of how many I had to finish each
Oh,
day.
that's
to
okay.
finish the
Oh wow.
Interesting.
So it occurred to me I don't like her in Rifthold.
You don't like Selena.
No.
And she had to act like Selena a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that though.
Yeah.
But you can't even read her as Selena.
No.
Right. I hear that. Hannah?
Anna.
I love this book.
Surprise.
I loved about 4/4 of it. You know, when she's first back, you know, some of the, we won't get into all the nitty gritty, like this doesn't make sense. But some of it, like in the beginning, I was like, isn't the king looking for her?
No. Yeah. I mean,
Like she's
yeah,
like
okay.
going on day dates with Rowan, and she's like going to the bank a lot, and she just
She wore a hood.
right.
It's fine.
Well, she's not okay.
She put on a hoodie and she put the hood
There's
on.
a
trying to
little bit
figure
of
out
plot
the-
holes, and it is kind of so. Yeah.
I mean, just rereading it this time, it's something it never really crossed my mind.
How out and about she is.
Yeah.
Her hair's a different color, and I think she's really banking on that.
She is really banking on that.
Yeah, that nobody really knows
hair.
her face. She has
Yeah.
red hair. But I think this book is great. To me, it's all plot and character
fun.
development of all of these characters that I already really care about. So for me, every morsel of it is just like, I love this, which is why I finished it so quickly because it was really, really enjoyable. I didn't have to chug through it. I was like, oh, I can't wait to get in the car and listen to this book. I did notice it's really apparent that shift back and forth. And I love that she names that when her Aiden and Rowan see her act as Selena and they're like, oh my God, did you have to act like that? Did you really? Is that really who you were?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, it is. And I was like, okay, I hope that makes Rachel like it. Negative,
Captain.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But this is the first book I think she's really playing with the like off-page stuff. We get the twists.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I love how satisfying these books are in that all the things I want to happen typically happen.
Mm-hmm.
But the way that she surprises us is that she has these twisty things that are happening off page pop up. Like, oh, look how clever she is. We had no idea this was happening. For me, that is very satisfying. But I could also understand how that would feel not for some. But this book really sets the tone for that, where we get to see Aylin be the smartest person in the room.
Crafty.
Which is fine, were she not the last remaining heir and queen of an entire country. So it's kind of like the captain is the captain of, like, say, Star Trek. Let's use a Star Trek metaphor. It's like the captain is sneaking off on away missions and not telling anybody. What happens if something happens while they're gone?
Right.
Nobody knows where they are. Nobody knows what happened. And now the ship doesn't have a captain.
Well, but also what we'll learn politically is that she has just kind of claimed the title of queen, hasn't been dubbed the queen, and Terrason's kind of functioning on its own without her.
And there are other options for heirs.
Yeah.
And I feel like she definitely has the feeling that they can do without her.
I think at
this
first, but
point.
I think she recognizes that she is armyless. She doesn't have any money. She needs the word keys. She's kind of like SEAL Team 6ing things because she's not certain what the larger picture needs to look like or even how to do it. So she, as in most of these books, has to build her court first before she can go back to Terrason. But there's still people up there running the show that she's going to have to contend with.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah, contend with.
Contend with down the line. So I think going back to get her I think her
sorry to be rustling.
No,
over
that's
here.
funny. I think it's funny. I always love the books that say my pills. My pills.
I'm sorry, I just have to take a Pepsid.
This is where I keep my pills. But you gotta say it like that.
My pills.
My
yes.
pills. Hand me my pills.
My favorite thing.
Give me my morning pills. Hey, you got my nighttime candy? It's in my pills bag.
Thank you for that. This is a thing that Sarah J. Maas does a lot. She did it with Feyre. She does it with Rhysand. She does it with any character she wants us to perceive as, like, crafty. Is she just has them tell fuck all to everybody. And then at the end, they're like, oh, you thought I was just off doing my own thing. Well, I have secretly done the following 5 things, and this will ensure our victory. But I didn't tell any of you guys about it because just,
Which I think is super rude.
If
I hate when
was
people don't tell me stuff.
If I was a member of her inner circle and
You'd
you're
be pissed.
you're telling me you
But
trust me,
to
and then
me it makes sense for Aelin, and it didn't make sense for Feyre.
yeah.
But I guess, in all honesty, Feyre got it from Aelin because Aelin came first.
Yeah.
But
In this tiny little context where she's off doing these things in this one little city, it's fine. More or less. But I know she's going to do this later.
oh hell yeah,
and we're
she's
going to
gonna
end
do
up
it.
in another Feyre situation where she's like, hey, I know we're going to go to battle in like 30
So
seconds.
let me give you a blowjob, and then I'll not tell you about how we're gonna win the day.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
let me go ahead and just like, I had assets. I just didn't feel like telling you about.
6 months ago, I wrote a letter to
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. This is this book.
And it's supposed to be like, oh, look how smart they are. Oh my God, look how crafty. Oh my God. And instead it just comes off as like, I didn't trust anybody to tell them.
Yeah, to you.
To me.
some.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
some. I mean, yeah, true. I'm just very naive and trusting too.
Well, if she wants to write politics, that's fine.
Yeah.
But she's writing an 18 or 19-year-old doing politics, which
Yeah.
is like very cloak and dagger.
Sure.
Very, to appear the smartest person in the room, I just don't tell anybody what I'm doing.
Right.
And then nobody can argue with me, and I get to do what I want.
Right, but look how good things end up.
Luckily.
Yeah, luckily.
Well,
it's not really
good
luck.
thing she's the
'cause
best assassin in the
it's
entire
fate.
world. My
Yeah, it's not
God.
really luck. It's just like that's how she wrote it.
Yeah.
Somebody has the pen, you know?
Luckily,
Yeah.
I finished the story this way.
Yeah, luckily she wrote it. Yeah.
What about Lysandra?
Yes, I did like the Lysandra twist.
That was
Hell
fun,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you did.
Ghost leopard.
Lorcan, you gotta love Lorcan.
There's not a ton of Lorcan in this one.
There's
He's
not-
mostly just
there's
like,
not a ton.
there's
of
like
Lorcan.
Lorcan's in the city. And then she's
Lorcan's
like,
out killing things /
Right.
not killing things.
right.
Right. And
And
then
she's like, I lured him into this bar and he's going to kill all the bad guys for me.
yeah.
And then
And then he's like,
she just runs
and
off.
I love how Rowan and Adian and I was like, "Did you plan that?" And she's like, "I did. I did plan that."
I did now.
Like when she goes into the vaults and she like wearing her red and she fights somebody and you know, and she first starts off and she like intentionally lures everybody there so that she can destroy the vault so she can take away Arabin's money. And I don't know. I was really excited when Arabin was sorry. Something that people I just totally shifted.
That's fine.
Something that people have said that they're not a fan of is letting Lysandra have the kill. What do you think of that?
That's
Because I
fine.
like it.
I don't need my main act. She's already been,
She's delegating.
she's already been the center of everybody's attention
Yes.
for the last 6 books.
And she's gotta
So
learn-
it's perfectly fine for
I think so,
somebody else.
too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Plus, I know Selena went through a lot, but look at what Lysandra went through.
Just as much, if not more.
Yeah.
Because she had to sell her body
Yes.
versus kill people.
Yeah,
Right.
She
And
had
while
to sleep
I
with
s-
him. She deserves the kill.
Yeah, she deserved the kill. And I was when I read that criticism, I was like, that is not how I feel about that at all. I love that she delegated that. And I think that does show trust. I like that once again, I think it's wonderful how her friendship with Lysandra evolved from this. Arabin was literally pitting them against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now she's like, oh my God, we could have been best friends this whole time, but he realized how dangerous that would have been. And it is better to keep women pitted against each other
Yeah.
than for them to support each other and run shit.
Yeah.
Because he knew that would happen.
Right. I like how Lysandra shows up and she's like, how about we be best friends forever?
And
And Aylin's like, yeah.
okay,
Yes.
because
Yes.
I need girlfriends.
Yes.
I love girlfriends.
Let's be best
and-
friends forever.
Yeah.
I'll loan you underwear. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's something girls do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. If you're the same size, sure.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You just wash them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not really, it's nighty. She loans her
Oh,
like a
nighty. Like PJs. Yeah.
Lingerie.
Yeah. Lingerie.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're. Oh, that gold stuff.
Yeah. To
Oh.
fuck with Rowan. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, this whole thing?
Don't you rip this
Lysandra
up?
loaned
This
it to me.
metallic gold thing that you specifically requested.
That you said was your favorite color?
That's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I love that. I just think it's sweet, and those are my favorite parts of Aylin's character. And when she's surrounded by all these other characters and it's not all about her anymore,
Yes.
it becomes such a stronger book. And it's like, this is where I was when I caught myself going, oh, I really love these people. I'm crying now. Not now, but like in the book.
Yeah.
I mean, really, and I'm not trying to sound like Rachel here, but really my favorite parts are away from Aylin.
Yeah.
Like Manon.
Well, I think
Yeah.
Sarah Janet realized these are stronger with more.
Yeah.
Because people were going to get tired of Aylin.
Yeah. It's just a really fun court.
I like watching Aelin from other people's point of views, honestly, because I feel like she is so special set of skillsy that she needs to be. I prefer someone else's like down to earth perspective of what's happening versus what's in her mind. Because when we spent those first 2 books with Selena, you know, she was harder to. Yeah, she's harder.
Although I can definitely see why you need to have read Assassin's Blade before this book.
Yeah, that's why we said that.
My youngest sister, you know, she just recently read ACOTAR. Mm-hmm. And so she's going to start this now. Mm-hmm. And I told her, make sure you start with Assassin's Blade because I wish to God that I had.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting to get her perspective on that.
She doesn't know anything. Like she's going in fresh.
Yeah. I would not have wanted to read Assassin's Blade first. I would have DNF'd.
I don't know that everything would have been as fresh because up till now, besides Sam, we had not really referenced anything. And then in this book, it's like, bam, oh, there's a reference. Bam,
you're right. It is going to be a long time before you meet some of these people again.
You know what you should do? You should set it up the way that we talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Pick out the short stories and have her read the short stories in the way that we thought might be cool.
Ooh, let's experiment on her.
Yeah. Yes. You know what I mean?
And then get her feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that would be really cool.
That's a good idea.
Like she wouldn't read Irene's chapter until before Tower of Dawn.
Okay.
So we need to talk about that. We could do Tower of Dawn first instead of Empire of Storms. But you already started Empire of Storms.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of people
read them simultaneously.
Yes. Have you seen that?
I have, but I don't want to do that.
I don't want to.
Because
I'll die.
Yeah.
I'll die.
It's just too much work, and I listen and not read. So,
yeah,
so it would be really hard to do it.
Plus, I really am excited for Rachel to have the Tower of Dawn book because it is 100%
Aelin free.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's no Aelin.
Yeah.
I think
and it's all Nesryn?
Maybe Nesryn.
So I really like Nesryn. I think she's a great addition, but she has a huge role in Tower of Dawn because her and
Philippe, yeah.
Nesryn Philippe, yeah.
Her, yeah.
So we're going back to her, you know, the country where her family's from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a different story. It comes out of that not being such a bumbly idiot, which is great. So
it's fun.
It is. I like the kind of, in this book, I enjoy the kind of like, how is she going to figure it out? How is she going to save the day? But I think I'm just like, yeah, this is great.
Easily pleased.
Easily pleased.
Like moi?
But not so much. I just don't really have the words to describe it because I'm reading these other books right now that I think are terrible, but I don't know why. I can't tell you why they're terrible, but I'm like, these are so spicy because otherwise I just would...
Yeah, I mean,
now
I
imagine
do
that,
read
but without
books.
the smut. That's been me for the last 3 books.
Yeah, nothing to go on.
Then I got to Airfire and I was like, yes. And then we got to this one and I was like, no.
Well, we won't be in Rifthold anymore.
Yeah,
so hopefully that will help.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought this one moved the plot forward a lot. We got a lot of plot movement.
We got a lot of the stuff that I struggle with in anything classified as young adult, which is people acting irrationally. And I just, when like lives depend on you holding your shit together and you can't even do that. And then it gets to me because I'm like, why are you the main character in this book? You should be a side character if you're in it at all.
Yeah.
You want me to see this as a loving relationship and you're literally punching each other in the face?
Yeah, so I'm the total opposite.
See a problem with that.
Yeah, I'm like, this feels pretty normal to me.
We've got 2 divorces.
Yeah, divorcees. Divorcees.
I feel.
I'm like, haven't you
You're
ever
both staring at me.
haven't you ever had to spend time with an ex?
No.
It's miserable. So when her and Kay all have these hard moments, I'm like, I get that. It is weird in a way you can't even describe. It's like you've shared big feelings with this person. Those big feelings, there are remnants of those big feelings bebopping around, but you're not supposed to have that intimate connection anymore. And it just becomes weird and challenging. And I think in this book, they do a nice job of some semblance of respect and courtesy towards each other, despite the fact that they do blame each other for a lot really fast. Because it's so easy to blame your ex. You know, like I think we
Yeah.
talked about that before, that you really felt like she started blaming Kale for not killing the king. Like,
Yeah.
why didn't you kill the king? And he's like, I mean, I did Kale things.
Why didn't you bring an army?
Yeah, why didn't you bring an army? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, it feels like X energy to me.
Ah.
So
Yes.
it feels like X energy. Like, you're just blaming them irrationally.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the rationality is typically you don't have to be around typically you don't have to save the world with this person that you've also shared
Right.
this moment with. But I think Kale, I like that she writes men that are very well balanced typically emotionally, because he's just like, I thought I was going to be mad about it, but I'm not. I'm just glad she's happy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, because that's how it works in real life. You know?
Yeah.
But I like that we kind of get like two books in this. We get that first piece, that first part where it's, what do they call it? The like Lady of the Shadows or
Yeah.
Lady of the Streets or something.
Yes.
So we get this kind
The
of
underworld.
And the,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
the freak in the sheets.
yeah,
Yeah.
freak in the sheets.
Except not.
Her and Roan are just doing
I'm over
butt
here,
stuff.
no spice.
Yeah.
Still.
Right, because we're still at
We should share a bed. I have an entire
This is like a
apartment. but we
different
should-
They
kind
have
of kink.
the
This
weirdest.
is the withholding.
Oh my god, I hate that. Oh my god, that's what these other books have been like. It was like a book and a half before anything got weird, and I was like, who holds out this long?
Well, Rowan.
Rowan.
That's who.
Well, he's old,
He's super old.
and he thinks that he thinks that his feelings towards he actually doesn't understand his feelings towards her, because he's been mated before, quote unquote, mated before. And he's like, where's the draw? I guess it's just because we're Karenons.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I forgot what we were talking about.
Me too. Freak in the sheets, and I went off.
Yeah.
Queen of Shadows.
Queen of Shadows. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Queen of Shadows.
Oh, Lady of the
And then
Lady of the
there's-
Streets. I like that this
Yeah.
first half is like her figuring out how they're going to get all their money. And I
Yeah.
love that they solve that, because one of my pet peeves is when there's like money issues in fantasy.
Yeah.
Get your shit out of my shit.
Yeah.
Like Philip Rothfuss does that, and I hate it. You know?
Yeah. I got
No.
money problems in real life. I don't need them in my fantasy.
I don't need them in my
Yeah.
my sorcerer book,
Yeah.
my wizards. Keep
I'm
it.
stressed enough.
Well, and like, yeah. So I like that she gets her money and she outsmarts everybody. She's always a step ahead. She planned everything on a boat.
Yeah. Yeah. She
Heading
got out
this-
some piece of paper and a pen, and she was
she-
like, I'm going to fix you. You know, she had like red string.
she's
She had it all taped up on
she's
the
like
wall.
Charlie from It's
was
Always
all-
Sunny.
She was all dirty. Her hair was unwashed. She was just like scribbling on the wall. Like, oh, yes.
straight masterminding.
Yeah.
We didn't see that struggle.
Yeah.
There's a,
And then I love when like her relationship with Rowan feels so weird in that they are so close, but there is this element of like romance, but they're pretending that there's not.
yeah.
But
But there is.
there is.
Yeah.
But she's very
It feels very much like a 19-year-old trying to seduce a 400-year-old dude. That's exactly what it feels like. Where he's like, are you going to wear the nightie thing? And she's like, yeah, look at my nightie. And then she just gets in bed with him, and it's just awkward. Like the whole time you're just like, oh, okay, this is really...
Yeah, it does.
There's a video I need to send you, or whoever. It's about anime, but it's relevant
Yeah.
because the guy walks in and his friend is watching anime, and he's like, "Oh yeah, this 12-year-old is like this 400-year-old dude's about to date this 12-year-old," and he's like, "What?" And he's like, "No, it's not like that. It's like, but he's in like a 12-year-old body," and he's like, "What?" And
What?
he just,
Like,
it
what?
escalates till they like. He's like, "Actually, can I just walk to the police station? Is that in walking distance?" And he's like, "Yeah, it is. Let's just go together."
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's funny. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
where to go from there.
I mean that's she does write that. I mean, I think that's why it feels awkward, because he's so much more mature. He has so much more experience, and she's really only ever been with Kale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, regardless of the butt stuff with Sam. We've had that. We've had like all the way with Kale. And then with Rowan, we're back to butt stuff. So,
Yeah, Rowan, they're at the butt stuff phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But not even because she tries to touch him and he's like, don't touch me.
yeah, because he feels so guilty,
Yeah.
and he's like not prepared.
He's
to,
still like trying to deny it.
yeah, and he's not prepared to open up in that way, even though he is. I love Adian's response to it, like, you were a douchebag to her, buddy, but we all see you with her. We know you like her.
I can smell it on you.
Yeah, they can. That's so awkward.
Yes.
That is one of the most awkward
She
parts of these
loves
stories.
that. Sarah J. Maas includes that every
She
time.
loves
Like,
when
I
someone
can smell
their arousal.
There's
Any opportunity to smell sex, she's like, I'm on it.
yeah, like, can you get that smell out of the room? Thanks. Or just smelling every emotion. Ugh.
Yeah, she loves a good heightened sense of smell.
I'm so
that
sensitive.
everybody knows when you're up to business. Like she just
Yeah, like you're just sitting there looking at your mate and you're just like thinking not thoughts that are good.
If I was around these people, I'd be wearing 4 pairs of drawers at all times.
draws.
Some sort of
Always
Febreze.
smelling my arousal.
For non-Southerners, that's underwear. Underwear.
Some form of Febreze element to keep your arousal from being scented by every fae in the room.
I know.
That's my
Just live outside.
my odor.
my sensey. Essential oils. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
15 diffusers in every room.
Just wear one around your neck.
What are those pants that you're putting on over your underwear? Oh, these are my arousal prohibitors, so people can't smell.
That
Oh.
would be so awkward.
It would be so
What if
awkward.
you're like a secret? Like, what if you're the type of person that likes to be private about things?
Well,
You
not
just
when you're
can't.
not when you're fae.
No.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing as like when your face gets hot, when you blush.
Yeah.
Like you just can't.
I'm a big blusher.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Not so much like now it's better, but I remember being a teenager
And blushing.
and blushing so like, and my face would be beet red.
Mm.
Yeah. I used to get really red when I was drunk.
Yeah.
The alcohol flush response.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If
Well,
I'm
my
drinking
blood
like
pressure-
1 glass of red wine, then I'll be.
Yeah, just pink. Yeah. Well, the second half of this book goes into, I mean, it's almost a different book.
Yeah.
We go almost, y'all, today when I was like, oh, I just want to listen to the end of the book. That starts at like 3 hours before the book ends. This is
Yeah.
another book where we have,
Wrap up.
Well,
Yeah.
and at this point, with her experiencing her writing, I like it. But it is long.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really long.
Yeah.
I mean, the castle exploding and falling to pieces doesn't happen at the end. It
No.
happens like
And
half-
Arabin is way back. Like we went there for Arabin.
he-
He's like 2/3 the way in.
he dies
We're
before the
donezo.
second half. Yeah.
yeah.
And then the second half, it's basically her going, oh, wait, them breaking out Alien. That is such a fun. That is such a fun
such
scene.
a fun.
You didn't think that was fun?
You didn't like it?
How she like came in as a ballerina.
I mean, that part was fun, but then the second part when we were absolutely shocked that every guard that wore a flower got tortured and killed. As if we didn't just tell the king exactly who colluded with them.
Yeah, well.
That part was less fun.
Yeah.
And they were like, why did they die? I don't get it. Like, they weren't going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I mean, they
Yeah,
also
that's
haven't found us in
that's
this
a s-
warehouse
that's a
that
s-
we've been in for 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yes,
they're
I know.
So they're obviously not
they're-
that smart.
Their hidden warehouse.
And they're
Yes.
completely capable of being like stealth and following anyone around, but no one else is capable of following them around.
She's going
No.
to the bank. Like
Yeah.
every day going
Yeah.
to the bank.
Her
Yeah.
hair
Do
is
they have cameras?
no.
I mean,
no.
No.
What is this? This isn't
No.
Crescent City.
And then-
in Crescent City.
And
Get
then
out
they
of
have-
here.
They have
There's no
word marks.
Declan.
Right, but they put word marks in the door. And they don't put them in any permanent. He literally goes out there with like chalk and draws them on there. So all she has to do is like, oh, I feel faint. I need a glass of water. And somebody brings her a glass of water and she's just like, and then she just run. I was just like, what is happening? Like what? What? You
In your
you're
head-
setting this up as a trap, and you. Okay.
And in my mind, I'm like, wow, that's really funny and clever. Go, Aelin.
I mean, it's clever on her part because
Yeah.
she noticed they were water soluble. It's not clever on the king's part
Right.
because they're water soluble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
But to give the king the benefit of the doubt.
It would have been better if it had been like duct taped to the ground.
If you give the king the benefit of the doubt that he was fighting the demon in his head this entire time, it is possible that he engineered the whole thing for failure because he wanted Adian to be broken out. He just had to give the demon enough leeway to feel like it was accomplishing its goals.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Rachel.
Rachel.
Yeah.
I am
yes,
for you.
Rachel.
I am
Validating the plot. Thank
So,
you.
if you think of it from that point of view, which I don't think Sarah J. Maas did, but if we
Okay.
just put that back in there, then it makes
Okay.
more sense.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and there she is. There.
All right.
Welcome. I'm back.
Thank you for ruining it.
no, it's great. It's great. But I love that part. The dancers, like the emphasis on the art and the music and the the dancers being like, this is our last hurrah.
Well, like she
And
was
we're-
shorter than all the other dancers.
Aelin was?
Yeah.
And Aelin's like 5'7". I guess they're just all really tall.
Yeah, why are they so tall?
I mean,
They're
I
like
guess
ballerinas.
that's normal. I don't know. But then Lysandra teaches her to how to be a man
Yeah.
and like have man and like trick them. Hey, sorry. And then Adian.
Yes. She like puts on a cape and then, I don't know, grabs
And
her
that guy
crotch
gets
and she's just like, I'm a dude.
Yeah, and that guy gets killed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets killed. And Airbin's mad. Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was a ton of fun.
I mean,
I thought it was
Yeah.
it's a hoot. It's a hoot.
holler.
And I like Evangeline, Lysandra's little
Yes.
girl,
Yeah.
and I like how it's just sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the second half, we get this super plot forward. We lose our magics back, which
Yep.
is really cool. I love Manon's, like, she could feel it on the wind. And then all of a sudden, the witches are, like, super strong.
I love that.
I'm surprised they weren't, like, immediately jumping on brooms. But now they can ride brooms and wyverns.
Yeah, but the wyverns are really cool.
So much cooler.
Hmm.
Would you do a broom or a wyvern?
Probably a wyvern. I don't know. Broom sounds uncomfortable.
Personally, oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Unless it has a saddle.
Well, I'm wearing 4 pairs of drawers, so
Yeah, once you put on your
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 sensies.
arousal inhibition pants, like
I've got plenty of
probably good
cushions.
to go.
Your arousal chastity pants.
Yes. It's like bike shorts where they're padded
Yeah.
in the center. Yeah, exactly like that.
With a
Skims.
Febreze pad.
Yeah.
Oh, that Skims.
Skims.
Yeah. I like Elite's character's cool. Caltaine, what happens at the end when we
Yeah.
realize that Caltaine's actually had a word mark in her
Or
arm.
Caltaine.
Poor
I know, and I like
Fontaine.
that. I like that redemption in that we realized that she calls her a wolf. She's like, she was really intensely magical.
Yeah.
Had a lot of magic. And I almost feel like maybe she was such a douchebag because she was so repressed.
Yeah.
Had this piece of her missing.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, I don't know. I think the way that she loops it back and she,
Like that she killed her demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Manon's like, how long has the demon been gone? And she's
Yeah.
like, couple weeks.
A while. Yeah.
Oh, how'd you know? She probably doesn't smell bad anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Well, she's got the word key in her arm.
I know.
Yeah.
She's too strong for that demon. But
The babies, the demon babies that the witches have,
yeah.
are they like the monsters we see in the next ones?
I
Like
thought
the word
Caltaine killed them all.
hounds?
Doesn't Caltaine kill them all?
I don't know if we get a glimpse of what those grown up witch babies look
Because
like.
it seems like they had been, like we saw some of it, but I feel like Parrington was acting like they had been doing this for a while already at other sites.
I don't know if we ever get clarification of that. And I feel like if those creatures,
What do they look like?
gross,
I'm sure.
More demon than
Slimy.
witch.
Where are
Yeah.
we getting all the wordstone pieces to put in everybody? And the wordstone rings and collars, where are they coming from?
I don't know, but somewhere, because there's a lot of that rock.
Yeah.
It's that adamant, like, black
It's like
obsidian rock.
in the
I think they,
the
like,
mountain, like under the mountain.
there's, like, they can take obsidian and then infuse it with demon,
With evilness.
infuse it with evil,
Okay.
like that house I was in last weekend.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's how they do it.
Okay.
Maybe they brought it with them when
Maybe.
they came.
I was just wondering, because we seem to have like an infinite supply.
Infinite supply.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well,
Well, it's just like the wyverns.
throwing it
The
around like
wyverns
candy.
came from somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if he's able to open some sort of gate and bring things through,
Maybe.
but they didn't have wyverns there. So he's pulling, like,
The
where the
wyverns
demons
were
coming from. The demons
made.
are coming from somewhere else. Like, there is a gate open somewhere. So that could be maybe to get in, you have, as a demon,
Got to pay.
you got to pay with
Pay the
some,
toll.
pay the toll.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just wondering, because we're just like, oh, you get a collar. You get a collar.
You get a collar,
You get a ring.
you get a
You get
ring.
a collar. You get a ring.
I
I'm
would
going to
wear this-
impregnate you
I
with
would
my
like
stone
an
baby.
anklet, please.
Yeah. I mean, they could have just given them away. I mean, why all the cloak and dagger shit? They could have just been like, hey, the new, like, we're going to put this on the trendiest person in town.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to want
Kim
one.
K.
And then just,
She's not really trendy anymore.
And then-
2013's over. It's fine.
Yeah.
and then like spread the word. Hey, I got it from this cool place down in the Shadow Market. You got to
Yeah.
go down there and get one yourself.
And then everybody's just.
They should have put you in charge of
And then
marketing.
just put it on everybody.
Yeah,
And then-
they really should.
then you're good to go.
Every universe needs a Rachel to keep people straight.
Well, when we talk about my chart again, I guess we'll enlighten the people as to why
Yeah.
I
Why every world needs a Rachel. Yeah. But
because even if they're not magic users and you can't put a demon in them, well, I mean, if you give them to everybody, you're bound to catch every magic user.
I think it might be a little bit more complicated. Maybe some sort of ceremony or something you have to do to put the demon in there. But I also like your thoughts.
I mean, with Dorian, they just put it on there.
the
they just-
collar.
Yeah,
The
they just
collar,
put the
yeah.
collar on.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, all he does is give him, like, the king gave Adian the ring.
Yeah.
And then he never noticed that Adian wasn't, like, possessed. So there wasn't anything else. It was just like, here's your ring, sir.
And he was so sassy.
Yeah. He was never like, you don't seem very possessed to me. He should have been able to have that
Why
conversation
aren't you
if we're all
doing what I
possessed.
say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plot holes.
A lot.
Why did the king only have a ring and not a collar? Because that means he has a lower level demon and not a prince. Because the princes require the collars. But the king only had a ring.
Yeah, that's a great question because he had a minion, not
Yeah.
a prince.
Yeah.
This is
And the
interesting.
king? The
And
king
the
only
king.
had a minion?
I think so because that's what he said when he said Parrington
Okay, yeah.
let out Erewhon,
Mhm.
and then Erewhon's minion went inside the king,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
that's
he
right.
went to Terrasen because he wanted little baby Aelin to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
and I love that they didn't believe him.
Yeah.
I bet you were like, they're finally smart.
I mean, I
even though
didn't
even
believe-
though he was telling the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting twist.
Yeah.
I'm not actually a bad guy. I've been fighting for you this whole time.
Yeah, well,
My
wait till the
boy.
last wait
My boy.
wait till the last book. It
Just
gets
you
even
wait.
sadder.
Gonna
But-
cry.
But I don't understand. So when Dorian and Aelin linked up magically, and we learned that Dorian, who is a human, right,
Yeah.
has an infinite well of magic. He's basically the baddest motherfucker in the story.
Yeah.
When it comes to an infinite well, he has raw magic. He can do whatever he wants with it. Somehow he decides it's icy. And what they call it, big BDE. He's got that big dick energy.
Yeah.
Wait till the next book. Woo! He'd be using all those black spirity hands. Just like he has like 4. Anyways, you'll see. It gets adult in the next book.
Okay. We need some adult.
Yeah,
Yes.
it really
To,
does.
like,
I know I've been saying this literally
No,
since book one, but
I don't-
just wait until the
I
next
don't,
book.
I don't know why she decided in Empire to be like, meh, I think we're going to be adult books now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's
we're
like
going full
Crown of
on.
Silver Flames. I
Yeah, but we at least
had-
got a chapter 55 in Mist and Fury. I mean, that's not young adult scenes.
No.
Those were
but it's not
And-
Court of
No,
Silver
that's like-
Flames either.
well,
We're
Frost and
talking
S-
the bundle of nerves. I mean, we're going there.
Oh, good. I'm so excited.
well, even in Frost and Starlight. I mean, they like pounding up against the wall in
Yeah.
in the cabin, you know? Like but then yeah, you're right. Silver Flames gets MA.
Yeah.
I know my friend that's reading it. She's in Frost and Starlight, and I was like, "Oh my god, you're almost to Silver Flames. It's the best." But I don't know. She just decided like I don't want to be a young adult writer.
Yeah, I'm done with that now.
I'm tired of that.
Probably
I want
her audience aged up. It took her so long. It's
yeah
10 years. If you started reading them at 18, you're 28 now.
yeah
You're done with the like chaste kisses in the alley and
Yeah.
shit.
yeah.
I go to bed with you with my nightie on, but we're not going to do anything. Like, we're over it now.
Yeah.
We're like, sorry, but you guys might die tomorrow. Let's have just like we
Yeah.
might die tomorrow.
Well, and they're
Night.
Fae, and one of the things about Fae is that they're supposed to be a lot more in tuned and sensual and sexual, and that and not have the gravity that it does as a
Yeah.
human, and so it is a little. I mean, I get where Rowan and Aylin's like hesitance is coming from. They're like, do we go there or not? I get that.
Yeah.
Do we go there or not?
Yeah.
They haven't decided, but now they're decided. You know, they're like,
Yeah.
we're
They
meant.
decided in this book.
We are meant to be. We are gonna be. We can't stay away from each other.
And as soon as our injuries heal, it's about to be on.
Yeah, as soon as you can keep up is
Yeah.
basically what he says at the end of the book. So how does this book end? Where are we headed?
They're headed to Terracin.
Terracin. She gets to Terracin at the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Over
she's
the
like,
hill.
I'm home.
it smells like pine and snow.
I just realized Rowan smells like Terracin. Like, oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Also known as pine
Pine
sol.
sol. Yes.
The scent of your arousal smells like pine sol.
It smells like the Christmas tree in the cabs.
God, so much pine and snow. So much.
Yeah.
What does Reese smell like? Lemon,
Sea salt and something else.
lemon verbena.
I don't know. It's probably on the candle.
Oh, let's read my candle.
Yeah, let's read it.
Rhysand's scented candle smells like the most handsome High Lord, the most delightful High Lord, the most cunning High Lord.
Oh yeah, that sums it up.
He does have one that she says every time. And it's-
Sea salt and
It's-
it's like the breeze and darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And darkness.
Darkness.
Whatever that smells like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can smell it. I know. Like
I
this.
finished.
This is what he smells
I
like.
finished my third reread of Wings and Ruin today. I was sobbing in
Wow.
the car.
Again?
Wow.
Yes, I had on the way to a show. On the way to meet with an electrician. I had to be like, "You can't listen to this right now." I was like, put it away. And then as soon as I got back in the car, I was free and safe to cry.
Hey.
But
whatever
this,
it takes.
I think once you're at the point where you love it like this, you just don't notice any of the stuff. I'm like, I love the long endings. It's never ending.
I love it.
It's so long.
It's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
I love things that are objectively terrible.
When things are ending
Yeah,
and
and
I
it's
look
okay.
and see 3 hours left, I'm happy.
That's fucked up. I see what you did there.
Wait, what?
She said, like, I was going to miss that. She said, I love things that are objectively terrible.
Rachel.
This is how I think this is how I would feel about Forever Night, though. So that's why
Probably.
I've
That's
never
it's
watched
fine.
an episode.
It's fine.
Yeah. But I still support you.
And I'm here.
You are here.
Yes,
I'm
you
reading
are.
your
the
books.
work.
And I enjoy it. It's funny. It's funny.
Yeah.
If it was 3 of us going, isn't this great? It's the best.
It wouldn't be as fun.
It's fine. I'm happy to be the
Yeah.
dissenter in the room.
That's totally okay. That's totally okay. Yeah, but I don't know. We get a lot of growth. The characters really grow. Dorian starts the book as a demon, and he finishes it off as the most
king.
the most
Yeah.
powerful High Lord, which
And
is why you're into him.
I love
because he's
how
Rhysand in this
yes.
story.
Yeah, I love
He's
how
my
Selena's like, oh yeah, we had like a thing one time, but he's dead, Kale. He's dead, and you just need to kill him. Knowing.
Well, I mean, in her defense, the
What
only
did she just get through battling?
Yeah,
You know?
sh-
But
in
the
her
guy was
ex-
still in there at the end.
her
right before he
experience, you have to kill them.
right before she burns him, the guy's like, "Thank you," which would, to me, indicate that no matter how long he's had this collar on, there's still that human presence in there. What may
Yeah.
have happened if we could have taken the collar off? I love how it breaks on like a hairline fracture.
Yeah, of the ring from the ring.
From the ring, which Lorcan just shows up and he's like, yoink! And then he runs out.
he like beats her. Wait, I
He
like
literally just pops up in the back, hits her in the head, takes the ring, and then just like dip and leave.
I see him just
prancing away. I could stay and help, but bye, y'all.
I completely missed that until I was like, wait a minute, that like she was like, and then everything went black. I thought that she just passed out,
She's a
Passed
blast.
out.
and then they
Nope.
and then they
Bonked
were
her
like,
in the head.
yeah, and then they were like. The ring disappeared.
Yeah.
Lorcan came sneaking
they-
through.
That guy.
And they just take it. They're
Oh,
like,
you
that's
Lorcan.
fair. They're like, that's fair. We kind of figured he'd do that, but we also didn't give him what we said we'd give him. So
Yeah,
no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Then he shows up again to get puked on.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I forgot. I didn't think he was a bad guy. I actually forgot who Lorcan was, and then I was like,
Yeah.
was he a bad guy? But then I guess I don't know, because they're all immediately like, oh shit, Lorcan, and I was like, who's Lorcan? Like,
Yeah.
why
He
am I
is the
immediately?
most well, he's like because of the cadre, he's very like there's stories of he's famous, right?
Yeah.
So
He's like the biggest, baddest.
he
of
is the
cadre.
most powerful. He's half fae, so he's half human, half fae. And he is the most powerful half fae, half human, while Rowan is the most powerful.
Fae.
Naturally, or they
naturally.
wouldn't be in the book. But I just didn't remember.
It's the most cunning High Lord.
I wish you could see the eye roll when she said it.
I can hear it. I don't need to see it.
Yeah,
I literally heard those eyeballs just.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the one who left her at the like fire gate, right? He's the one who she was like, go in, save the people inside. And
Yeah.
he did. And Rowan was like, what do you mean you left her out there? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. So
I
He
thought we
didn't
were
even
friends.
pause.
No, he was like,
He like ran past.
cool, see ya. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't pause.
Yeah. Just like when he
Gabriel's the one that paused.
yeah, and it.
was like, "Are
but
you
then
sure you're
he
okay?"
realized.
And he left.
she's
I
like,
love-
it's cool.
I love that they can smell heritage and
Yeah.
genetics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Rowan just looks. He's like eating popcorn. He's just met Adian, and he's like, "Oh, so you're Gabriel's kid, huh?"
He's like, I'm what? I'm sorry, what?
Like, no, like you are. You
Yeah.
smell just like him.
He could have
Yeah.
his own
Your
TV
penis
show.
smells just like him. Since they're all really into each other's pheromones
Oh,
and scents.
The paternity test came back.
yeah. Can you imagine how jarring that would be? You're like, I have no father. I am alone. This guy walks in.
Oh.
He's like, oh, yeah, I know your dad. He's pretty cool.
I'm
Whatever.
sorry, what?
He's this legendary dude. You probably heard of him. Whatever.
Yeah, and then
He's like my bro. or
Yeah,
whatever.
Lorcan gets one sniff at 80 and he's like, I didn't know Gav's kid was in there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have showed up. I wouldn't have taken him in there if I knew Gavriel's kid was in there.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Gavriel doesn't know he exists.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well,
Yeah.
it's in Crescent City too. There's people. They're called bloodhounds, and they have the ability to scent people's lineage. I think it's a pretty cool trait. I would like that.
That would be awesome.
You can make some money.
Ancestry.com.
Yeah. It'd be
Smell
like in Iceland, everybody's so closely related. They actually all have this app on their phone.
that they have to know,
and they have to look each other up before they date to make sure they're not too closely related to date.
I have heard
Yikes.
that. It's a very small place.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Have?
Yeah. I haven't.
Fun.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's small. And beautiful and like stunning. stunning. Never forget it. I went in the winter.
Ooh.
I've only ever done winter vacations because I'm a winter queen.
Yeah.
I'd like to go back in the summer when it's all 24-hour days instead of 24-hour nights.
Yeah.
But it's unforgettable there pretty much.
Yeah.
I would love to go.
Yeah, they've got puffins,
Yeah.
glaciers, the Blue Lagoon,
Black sand beaches.
black sand beaches, fish,
They eat a lot of fish.
shark shots, fermented shark shots.
They
Nope.
have a committee that decides like how their language changes.
Brilliant.
That way
like
they
that.
can
They
like
have like
keep outside. They can't like nothing gets anglicized too quickly,
they
which I think is
Nice.
really interesting.
they have their prisons are like boarding houses because they don't have as much crime.
Because
I
there's
was
not
about to
many
say,
people.
like, what
They also
do you
have
do?
active ass volcanoes.
Yeah. Active ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Active ass volcanoes.
Yes.
And in the wintertime, half the island has to shut down because it's too cold and you can't access it safely.
Mm-hmm.
The winds are so strong that they have warnings on cars when you rent them that are like, if the wind blows off the door, you have to pay for it. because
Wild.
it is so strong. Like
Yeah.
you have to be really careful about how you open the doors and not letting the doors blow off.
So, what kind of activities did you do in the winter? In the night?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we got off the plane, and a lot of people do this because it's on the way to Reykjavik, but you go straight to the Blue Lagoon and you chill there and you get all this soak in the sand, and you realize really quickly that the Icelandic people who are like native there and are from there, we don't have really great etiquette when it comes to like bathrooms and showers at all. Like, they get naked in front of each other. They shower before they go in anything. They swim a lot there. There's a lot of pools. But it's like necessity that you shower before you go in the pool. But Americans don't do nakedness around each other. So it's really awkward. But there's like this old Icelandic woman looking at us like, you're so fucking rude. and me, who's very sensitive to other cultures, and I'm very like anthropological in my mind, and I'm just like paying attention to the norms of the culture. And my other two pals that I travel with were not.
Yeah.
And we stayed in an Airbnb like really close to this big famous church, and like walked around, and I mean, it's snowy. It's like, it's just really fucking cool.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
And we stayed at this little cabin in the middle of nowhere trying to see the northern lights. They weren't out that. And we went to ice climbing
Ice climbing.
because there's glaciers.
Yeah.
Sounds very dangerous.
It's not. They give you shoes with the points
Yeah,
and a
that
hat
sounds very dangerous.
and a hat.
Clampons.
Clamp-ons, yeah. We went to this one of the coolest things, a tomato, like an inside tomato farm. They had the best tomato soup. It was so good, but it was like inside,
Like a greenhouse.
Like a hot house.
like a hot house. We went to the famous glacier thing that erupts.
Okay.
We saw a lot of different places. It's one of the best things to do. All the places where you go see Game of Thrones. Really touristy stuff.
Yeah. Fun.
But fun.
Oh yeah, super fun.
Yeah.
Like, because it's beautiful there. But it's also, we also walked into a school we weren't supposed to. And they like don't wear shoes in school. They take their shoes off.
It's freezing.
Well, that's warm inside. They know how to keep it warm. But it's very just like, I don't know. Once you leave the country and you realize how other people do it, you're like, damn, man.
I love it.
It ain't that great. It's fine. We
Yep.
deal with a lot of shit here. But I've also been to Norway. That's the next time.
That.
Only cold places. I want to go someplace warm now.
And melt your winter queen heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind cold. I mean, I think my body's kind of built for cold weather, but I want to be in the sun. I could feel really quickly the lack of sunshine in my body.
I could not handle it.
When we were in Norway, we went to the Tromsø, which is above the Arctic Circle. And we were there probably like 2 days before I noticed that. I was like, oh, I just felt like energy come over me from the lack of sunshine. But people there, they do their thing. They have gyms. We jumped in the water there and then sat in a hot tub and like a sauna. That was the coolest thing ever.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. Just be quiet when you travel, you know? That's the one thing I learned is like, shut up. You don't have to be loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I'm very quiet. And my sister Amelia,
It's not.
shout out to Amelia. She's a Karen when we're traveling.
Ooh, that's tough.
And she
I love how you shouted her out first. You're like, I love you, Amelia. She's totally
Does she
a
know this
Karen.
about herself?
Yes, we've talked
Okay.
about it. We have so many funny
So,
stories.
my pal that I travel with isn't as aware of social interactions or like how to eat out politely. And I get so much anxiety when people don't eat out politely that I'd be like, and we would like bicker like little kids. But we've known each other since we were really young. But because she just didn't know, or like they wouldn't follow the rules for what are those big things called that go down a mountain that are like dangling? Trams?
No,
Gondola.
Yeah.
Gondola from the ogre trolls, like the giant mountain with snow on it where the trolls are. They just skip the line and try to make their own line. And meanwhile, I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not breaking the rules. Well, sure enough,
I'm
the
not
gentleman
doing it.
comes out and goes, you got to go to the back. Polite. You got to know how to queue.
Gotta know how to cue.
Got to know how to queue. I'm just like, you can't run things here. That's why people hate us.
yes.
Because they
You're
think
such an American right now.
you're such an American. You got your collegiate shirt on and your pajamas and, you know, and you're just taking up all the space and being really loud. It's a lot. Anyways.
So back to the book. Not that this wasn't an enjoyable
But
Tangent.
I kind of feel like this book was necessary just to wrap up all the shit that happened in Rifthold.
Sure.
Because we left Rifthold very abruptly.
Yeah.
And then she really had unfinished business.
Right.
So as frustrating as it was to be back here, I do think it was necessary. Because you're not left with like, well, what about Arabin? What about
Can't
all
leave
of
that
these
guy hanging.
Yeah. What about all these people that knew about her? Whatever.
Yeah. And she says the glass throne of glass is
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
That's gone. Rifthold is done. I'm Queen of Terrasen. Let me go get my country back.
Yeah. I think it was the final step in her like reclaiming Aelin
Yeah.
and leaving Selena.
Yes.
So now you're going to love the next book.
But like now you're going to like the next book for certain. Yeah.
Probably not. It'll be okay.
It's fine.
She'll
I'll read
like
it.
it 60%.
Yeah, I'm letting it go. I'm really
Yeah,
gonna
we
let
don't
it
have
go.
to. We don't have to convince her.
Not everybody has to love everything that I do.
I mean, I'm reading it.
Yeah,
aren't I?
yeah.
appreciate that so much. I will read something that you
Objectively
love.
terrible.
I will read.
We'll figure that out.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything everybody would hate.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe
Maybe.
I might not be able to finish it. Sometimes I can't. It won't click in my head.
If I read Crown of Midnight, you can read anything I give you because I thought I was going to die reading Crown of Midnight. It
I'm
was
trying to think about a book
stressful.
that is I can't read. Yeah, I'm not critical enough. My problem with a book would be that I can't get through it. It won't. I can't follow. Like it's not engaging enough for me to even tune in, and that has happened. I've DNF'd a couple books in the last. That Haunting Adeline. I don't know if you guys are ever gonna pick that up, but the second book I
No,
DNF'd
but
it.
after you told me about it at first, my Audible started to suggest it, and I was like,
Because
"Quit
it's
listening to me."
Amazon's listening for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good place to leave it because we're going to
Yeah.
read Empire of Storms next.
Yeah. And then Tower of Dawn, and then we'll be done. After
then-
that,
Kingdom of Ash.
Kingdom of Ash, which is
like 4 books in one.
Yeah.
It's like 5 inches wide.
Yeah, it's pretty big, but
We'll get through it.
we'll get through it. And then we'll do Crescent City in the fall, in the winter. We don't have to
good.
do any more Sarah J. Maas for a really long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can switch to
deserve
Carissa Broadbent.
Such a good break.
Yeah, we could switch to Carissa Broadbent. Or we could just, I'm also reading, we could do some Ice Planet.
Well, I need something to get me to read the next book in Serpent and the Wings
Have
of
you
Night.
not started it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, is it out?
Yeah.
You don't like it?
Well, we'll try. Let's,
It's okay.
because we can unpack maybe why.
Rachel,
you
you're
don't
going to be like, if I don't like it, you're going to be like,
Well,
this was
I read-
amazing.
maybe
This
not.
was amazing.
Best
Let me
book
tell you
I've
what.
ever read.
Well,
This
I
is
read-
the smartest, most intricate, beautiful writing I've ever seen. And I'll be like, really? I don't know.
I love your impression of me. Just
That's
oh,
really
my
good.
best.
No, I'm just joking. That's
Yeah,
not a
no.
genuine impression.
No,
If
I
I was
know.
going to do a genuine impression, it would be more like Daria. Like straight. Like chill.
I'm going to do you with an English accent.
Monotone.
Just okay. Thank you.
Like-
that I don't have.
Lower.
Well, I read that.
monotone.
Was it From Blood and Ash?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the first book. I really liked it. I finished it like really
Yeah.
fast.
You
and I got
did?
through like a third of the first book and the second book. And I was like,
That shocks me
Yeah, me too.
because when I started that book, I was like, nope, I'm not reading something with a man called Hawk. I'm not doing it.
that's really funny.
Why?
I just thought it was
Just
too
ridiculous.
too ridiculous, like
Yeah.
too cliche, too much like every other book out there. I was like, no. And my sister made me finish that book.
I was waiting for
So
the vampires.
that-
I think that's what it was. I was like, when do we get? Maybe the vampires are in the next chapter. I don't know. And so we got all the way through, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, you like vampires.
Yeah, well,
I
okay.
forget that Poppy and Castile is a vampire.
So are we?
Yeah,
gonna
because
do
by the
Twilight
second book,
next?
you're like, you really want to hear my opinions
Did you
on
know
Twilight?
that they're
Do
remaking
ya?
it? Did you
Yes.
know they're remaking
Yes.
it into a series? Maybe
Yes.
it won't be so.
Because the hallmark of trauma is the compulsion to pass it on.
Yes.
So that's why we're rebooting Twilight.
Hmm.
Because we have a whole nother generation who hasn't been traumatized by it. So we just got to throw it out there.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I don't know. When they put them on Netflix, everybody got re-traumatized pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, they're whatever. They're interesting. They're
They're
fun to
okay.
watch. I like
I
them.
don't know.
I like them just fine. They're not.
I'm not
I
sure
don't.
I'm going to
I
like a
think when
YA
they.
book.
I think when they came out, I wasn't in a obsessive state. I'm in like an
Oh, God.
obsessive state right now.
I was.
I'm like hyper focused on this stuff.
So you don't. There's no real young adult that you care. What about Hunger Games? Did you like that? Okay. Yeah, the eye.
She did the double. She did two.
That was. That was.
She like didn't blink
read
simultaneously.
The first one. I don't think I ever got around to reading the second one.
Yep. What's a series you've read all of?
Animorphs.
I'm thinking. I read up to book like 12 of the Dresden Files.
Oh yeah, I knew you liked it.
And then I got mad at how he was describing something and I stopped reading it, which feels unfair. I should probably give them another shot, but that's okay. I'm not
How
there
do
right
you
now.
sleep at night?
He described, like, he was really, so the first book is not really a good example.
These are
of
the
what
Spike
rest-
books, right?
Yeah, Spike reads them. James Marsters reads them, like Spike from Buffy. And the first book really isn't representative of what the rest of the series is going to be like. Very much like Throne of Glass and
Right.
the rest of the series. And then by the second book, he really hits his stride. And then by the 12th book, he's so settled in to the writing that his descriptions got so long.
Oh, I remember
I
you
thought
talking
I was going to
about that.
die.
I remember you talking about
And I
that.
probably should have picked it up as a book because then I'll skim descriptions. But I had it as an audiobook because James Marsters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the farthest I've ever gotten. in
Should
a
we do some
series.
Sanderson? No, you don't want to do that.
Not right now.
Yeah, I think you get to pick our next books for a minute, for
something.
a hot minute.
I have finished the A Court of Thorns and Roses. That's probably the first entire series I've ever finished.
Yeah.
And she did it because I asked her to, though. You need external motivation.
I can do one shots. I can do two, like duets. And sometimes I can make it through a trilogy. But any more than that, you're asking for a lot.
I like a good trilogy.
Usually
I like
because
a
they're
good
stretching the
beginning
story so
and
much.
end.
Joe Abercrombie. Do you like?
I started reading that book you told me to, and I really couldn't get farther into it. But you know why? I think it's because it's a male voice.
It is a male voice.
On the audibles. And that just
He's so good though.
maybe, and it's just it's a tone shift that I'm working on.
Almost all
I
from
really
a male perspective.
feel like I'm the opposite of like men that can't listen to women. I can't listen to podcasts that are just like two white dudes talking.
No, especially not if they're explaining something. I'm like, fuck this. Just turn it off.
Mansplaining.
Yeah. There's this podcast I love called, what's it called? This is actually happening.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
And they had one where they were talking to this.
Sorry.
They were talking to this hospice nurse, and I was like, okay, I'm interested to hear about this because this hospice nurse has sat with like thousands of patients over their career, and so they have a lot of insights about like death and grieving, and it was a dude, and I was like, nope. I turned it right off.
Wow.
Because to me, that doesn't feel like a male space. That feels like, I'm sure there are men who are completely compassionate and totally like that's what they can do. But it didn't feel that way to me. I was like, no, like birth and death, that is a feminine space and I don't want you here. I just couldn't do it.
Interesting.
So I turned it off.
Yeah. Wow. I can't listen to like there's a couple podcasts where it's just like these comedians talking at each other. And I'm just like, I can't do that kind of anymore.
No.
And I think it's because I just can't. I'm just out of that phase. I do not want to listen to men talk at other men.
Because two white dudes with a podcast?
Yeah.
No thanks.
No thanks. That sounds awful to me.
Yeah.
Even if they're hysterical.
Yeah.
I just don't care about your perspective. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, on that note, we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Cool. Let's do it.
Until next time, friends.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It was great to talk to you. Bye.
Is it hot in here or is it just me tuning in to hear these three chatting about fantasy novels of the spicy variety? Not your average book club if you know